So we're joined now by Christina Desmond on the Star Sport podcast. Christina, European silver medalist. How does it feel?
At the moment, it's a bit surreal. I haven't really thought about it, but obviously, I'm disappointed. I didn't win the final. It was a close fight. But no, it's a big achievement. I know I take no notice of it, but because I'm doing it every day of the week, and I've been training with a few years, so I take no notice. But yeah, I really did realize how big it was with the support I've gotten and all the messages and all I've received. It's a pretty big thing. So yeah, I'm happy enough.
Yeah, it is. It is a big thing as well. Like you've won competitions in the past, and you've already have a bronze medal, but this is that one step further. And just take us back maybe to before the tournament started. You were kind of a late call up, and was that something that was difficult to get into the mindset for going into the tournament?
Um, yeah, I guess I always felt that I was kind of that bit behind and that I was only just after joining, but I actually have been part of that team. I'm from them 10 girls, I actually am the longest on the team, including Kelly Harrington, because I joined the high performance unit when I was 17, because I was in the Youth Olympics. So um, I've been on it now nearly 10 years. So I'm the more senior one, but still I was new on the team, and I was wondering what the younger girls would think, just coming onto the team. But no, it was hard, yeah, obviously, because I wasn't really training too hard over the summer. I've said in other podcasts and interviews that my dad was sick, so our main priority as a family was to try and be there for my dad, and he's flying now, thank God, so all is well. But so yeah, to be called up and to be only half fit in my mind, and I just decided to go for it. It was a massive opportunity. I couldn't leave it down. So yeah, it didn't work out that way in the end. I was fit enough and I was well able, so I put on a great performance. I thought myself I boxed well, so
Yeah, you boxed really well. And one thing that kind of struck me was even with those only just 4 weeks of proper training in the build up is that you kind of seemed very fluid in all your fights and looked like you were at home. Is it something maybe the lack of preparation, do you think that almost helped like relieve a little bit of pressure on you?
absolutely. To be honest, I've been away from the high performance now since May. I didn't get picked for World Championships, which their excuse was that I have a job, which I didn't think was fair. So I kind of was in a bad mindset. I didn't like boxing, wanted to quit it, didn't want to be there, didn't want to train or nothing. So like the training I was doing wasn't even much boxing. It was just real, just to keep my fitness and my head straight. So I wasn't in a good mind space with the boxing. So coming back was just a big decision for me. And you know what it was? It was just, what, I'll do it for me. And it was for me alone. It was for no one else. And I think that actually was the best thing, because I had no pressure. No one expected anything of me. Even the coaches didn't expect anything of me. It was just kind of a, here, we'll give you the chance to go. So I just had to take it on, and I did. And I haven't boxed that well in a long while. But the 4 weeks in training beforehand was hard and physical, so it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that it'll kind of stand you to good stead going forward? I know you mentioned there that they said that you weren't included because you had a job, but being able to show that you can perform to that level, do you think that's something that going forward will do you good?
Massive, both for me and both for my training and for my job. Now I've proved to a lot of people that I am still there, and I am able to compete with girls that are all training full time. Like, most of them girls out there are all training full time, getting funded, getting paid to train. And it just shows that if I did put my mind to it and train full time, I would be able to compete with these girls as well. And it's only the bare margin, and that bare margin can be closed.
And I know your career is a big part of your life at the moment. It's something that you put a lot of work into. So is training full time something that you kind of see yourself doing going forward?
Um, yeah, like I had, for me as a growing up, I had to get a career. That was my main goal, was to get a career. Boxing doesn't last forever, and things can go so wrong with the boxing. It's a very, with all sports, it doesn't last long, but it's a very physical sport, but it's also a big one in your head. It's hard. It's hard on the head as well. It's tough physically and mentally. So I do think I will probably have to go full time if I think I'll have to make if I want to make the Olympics. I just haven't thought about it yet, or thought about how I'll go around it. I suppose it's something I'll have to do, to sit down with my bosses and my hierarchies and just sit down and talk to them. So I haven't decided yet, but we'll see.
It's probably something you probably need to let the silver medal sink in before you can decide on anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've not our national championships now in January. They won't go down as a picking or a selection process. It'll just be a marker. So my aim now is to just relax for a week or two and then get back into training and go for them. And after that, then we'll see what the story is, or if I get picked to go ahead or whatever. So then we'll make the decision then.
You say your aim is to relax for a week or two, but I understand you're straight back into work pretty much, so you must be pretty tired this week.
Yeah, I only took the bare minimum, like literally the days that I needed to take, because I was so late notice. Some of my colleagues had to cancel their leave and all, so I just didn't want to push the boat out or make anyone sour. So I knew I'd come back straight on the Monday and work, but then when I came home with a medal, it was just a bit strange having to, or not having to go in, but just going in with a medal. It was strange, but it was a great buzz. They gave me a great welcome back. 5 minutes, I'd say they gave praise, and it was back to messing and slagging. And uh, yeah, I enjoyed actually going back, but no, it was 2 night shifts, so I am fairly tired. And I had to go back in on the Wednesday morning then for more. I had to go to court, so um, I'm tired. And they had a little homecoming in my little parish here in Kilmartra last night, so um, I haven't had a proper night's sleep since I came home, but it's adrenaline, and I'm delighted with it. It's so good to come home to such support. I don't think anyone else could get the support I've gotten in the past week or two, and everyone seen the fight, everyone watched it. And if I knew that before I fought, I'd say I'd be under a lot more pressure.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the kind of reception you got coming home to Kilnamartra. Like, I imagine, obviously, your family are very supportive, but the whole parish kind of come together to support you as well, so that must be great.
It's been incredible. I've got support from worldwide. I've for cousins all over the world, Canada, Australia, and I've friends traveling as well. All over the place. It's absolutely been outstanding. It's been emotional. It was an emotional week, so it was. But they all met last weekend in our local village in our pub to watch my fight on the Friday and the Saturday, and I believe there was a lot of late nights there. So on the back of my achievements, so it's massive just to see. And you know what it makes the most is the kids. They were just in awe of, maybe not me, but at my medal, and that I was actually, that girl was on television and now she's here. It was just crazy. So that's what it's all about, and to see them, um, that I came from that place. I visited the national school this morning that I went to, and they couldn't believe that I went to school there. And for me, that's mad. I'm just a local girl. So, yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, it must be funny being able to inspire the kind of next generation of potentially both young girls and boys into boxing. But I was just wondering, like, what got you into boxing in the first place? Like, what was it that made you kind of decide that that was the sport for you?
So my brother, I have a twin brother. We're both 26, and he started boxing for fitness for football in our local club here in Macroom. My father's first cousin, John Desmond, was the coach, and I went in to watch the boxing, and I had to do everything he did, and I'd have to do it better. That was just with everything in life. So I started training, and eventually, after a long, long few weeks and months of begging, could I get in the ring? I was allowed in, and I won my first. I was 11 then, and I won my first Irish title when I was 13, and it's been my life since. It's been incredible, really. I wouldn't have the life I have without boxing, and I definitely wouldn't have achieved things outside of boxing if I hadn't did either. It was I'm driven, I'm independent, and I believe that's fully to do with, well, my rearing and my sport.
Yeah, and boxing is obviously a very individual, like a solo sport, but you are now part of a record-breaking team with that huge medal haul coming back from Montenegro. What's it like being able to be part of kind of a golden era, let's say, of women's boxing?
Um, it's unbelievable. You know, I've trained with Katie Taylor and Kelly Harrington and women all over the world that are famous, and they're famous in their own countries and famous worldwide at boxing. And to come back and then to just I just play it off. I don't take any notice of it because them to me are my friends. Like, I don't take any notice. But the what they've done for women's boxing and women's sport is just incredible. And I don't see myself as one of them, but I would love to be that. I would love to be someone that they'd say, she did it, and especially with my career that I can do both, and that anyone could do both, if they put their mind to it. And yeah, the team that went out there was fantastic. I've been on many teams and I've been abroad. We had a very tough training camp. We weren't happy with the conditions out there, but we stuck through it. We got there. We all are huge support. It was huge support to each other. We got on very well. We had a routine. Went for tea every morning after breakfast. Across the road. That was the normal routine. And every day it would there'd be, if there was someone down, we'd pick each other up again. And it can be hard away from family, away from friends, and you're emotionally and physically drained, and you're nervous about competition. But the team was fantastic, and every one of them did well out there. And the three that didn't win medals could have just as well won as well. Like their opponents won out tournaments. So yeah, it's incredible to be part of it. And again, the same as the medal, I can't believe we did that. So I hope we did everyone proud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Does it help having other people who are going through the same thing? You talk about it being taking a toll, like emotionally, mentally, and physically. Does it help having other people around you that are going through the same thing to kind of help you through that?
It is, yeah, because you know what, no one else would understand um what we go through a day before a fight or the week before a fight or making weight. We all have the same thoughts. We all think that, you think you're there by yourself because obviously boxing is a sport that you do by yourself, and all the pressure's on you and everything's on you. But we're all feeling the same way. All of us um go through the same thoughts of loss. What happens if this happens? Or if she hits me this way, or if she does this, what will I do? We all go through that, so we talk each other through it, and we get through it. But we only had I was roommate, and my roommate was Kelly Harrington. Um, I was very lucky to share with her for the few weeks. Well, I don't know about lucky now, but yeah, we were only just saying it the morning of the final. We were in bed resting after our lunch, and she said, like, imagine if our families and friends knew what we actually did, or the people of Ireland knew what we did, the hardship that we go through, trying to starving ourselves the night before weighing, or going for a half an hour's jog to try and cut the weight, like, and the mental and draining part. They'd actually think we were mental, like, they'd, they'd have us put away, I'd say, because some people just think you just go out and box and you have a holiday, you have a great time. Like, that's far from it. And we had a very tough 4 weeks, and but you know what, it all paid off. And it doesn't matter what we have to do. We when we come home and get welcomes like that, it's all worth it.
Yeah, I'd imagine makes it completely worth it. Just to kind of close out there, you mentioned briefly about Paris next year, or sorry, 2024, isn't it? And looking forward, I was just wondering, so one of your former victims in the ring, let's say Sandy Ryan, is fighting on Dillian White's upcoming undercard at Wembley. Is going pro something that you've thought about in the past, and is it something that you can kind of see yourself doing going forward? I know it can maybe be hard to think about that right now.
Um, yeah, so like I'd love to make the Olympics. Obviously, I've missed out on narrow margins for the last couple of ones. But yeah, I haven't really thought about it. I probably will, because knowing me, I'll have to give it a go anyway. Um, but it's all about getting the right contracts and getting the right people behind you. And at the moment, I mightn't do it so soon, but we'll see. And to be honest with you, I don't like the talk in the pro boxing. I don't like giving anyone abuse or any backlash or anything like that. So I'll probably have to toughen up a small bit if I want to go pro. But I can be the nice one. They all give out to me. I say sorry when I hit people in the ring, even when I'm fighting. So I'll have to toughen up a small bit.
That can be your motto. So let your gloves do the talking. I think we'll leave it there with Christina. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck going forward.